Welcome back. We are on to a new book. We just finished Job. I'm pumped on that. Job was great. Haven't read that in years. Another book I haven't read in quite a while that we're going to get into. I wanted to do Revelation. It's the time everybody's quoting Revelation and talking about the end and all this kind of stuff. But I was talking with a friend, and she was saying that I was telling her that a lot of people are quoting Revelation, but they're actually talking about stuff that happens in Daniel or in Matthew. And she was like, "Well, that's the book. That's where you should go. You should do Daniel first, and then Revelation or something like that." So that's what we're doing. That was a great idea. So we're going to do Daniel. We're going to read through Daniel. It's only 12 chapters. I think some of them are pretty heavy. And I'm not going to pretend like I know exactly what Daniel's visions are, but you're going to hear them for the first time probably in their context. And you'll realize that, yeah, what the heck is this? We don't know. It's not for the knowing beforehand. It's for the confirmation after, as all prophecies, for the most part, are. Let's get into Daniel. Daniel, chapter 1. We're in the NASB 1995. Here we go. In the third year of the reign of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came to Jerusalem and besieged it. The Lord gave Jehoiakim, king of Judah, into his hand, along with some of the vessels of the house of God, and he brought them to the land of Shinar. Scroll too fast. To the house of his God, and he brought the vessels into the treasury of his God. Then the king ordered Ashpenaz, the chief of his officials, to bring some of the sons of Israel, including some of the royal family and of the nobles and the youth, in whom was no defect, and who were good-looking, showing intelligence in every branch of wisdom, endowed with understanding and discerning knowledge, and who had the ability to serve for serving in the king's court. And he ordered him to teach them the literature and language of the Chaldeans. The king appointed for them a daily ration from the king's choice food and from the wine which he drank, and appointed that they should be educated 3 years, and at the end they were to enter the king's personal service. Now among them, from the sons of Judah, were Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Then the commander of the officials assigned new names to them, and to Daniel he assigned the name Belteshazzar, and to Hananiah, Shadrach, to Mishael, Meshach, and to Azariah, Abednego. But Daniel made up his mind that he would not defile himself with the king's choice food or with the wine which he drank. And he sought some permission from the commander of the officials that he might not defile himself. Now God granted Daniel favor and compassion in the sight of the commander of the officials. And the commander of the officials said to Daniel, "I am afraid of my lord the king, who has appointed your food and your drink. For why should he see your faces looking more haggard than the youths of your own age? Then you would make me forfeit my head to the king." But Daniel said to the overseer, whom the commander of the officials had appointed over Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, "Please test your servants for 10 days, and let us be given some vegetables to eat and water to drink. Then let our appearance be observed in your presence, and the appearance of the youths who are eating the king's choice food, and deal with your servants according to what you see." So he listened to them in this manner and tested them for 10 days. And at the end of the 10 days, their appearances seemed better, and they were fatter than all the youths who had been eating the king's choice food. So the overseer continued to withhold their choice food and wine they were to drink, and kept giving them vegetables. As for the 4 youths, God gave them knowledge and intelligence in every branch of literature and wisdom. Daniel even understood all kinds of visions and dreams. Then at the end of the days which the king had specified for presenting them, the commander of the officials presented them before Nebuchadnezzar. And the king talked with them, and out of them all not one was found like Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. So they entered the king's personal service. As for every matter of wisdom and understanding about which the king consulted them, he found them 10 times better than all the magicians and conjurers who were all in all his realm. And Daniel continued until the first year of Cyrus the king. Fantastic. I mean, not fantastic. Starts off pretty heavy. A little bit of filler in here. Again, we're not getting into the nitty-gritties. But I'm just going to give you a little aside. We often call them Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And I personally, even though they're dead, I think it's an honor to them to not call them by their Babylonian names. We don't do that for Daniel. We don't call him Belteshazzar, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. We only give Daniel his Hebrew name, and we give everybody else, the other three guys who were awesome, amazing guys, we keep them with their Babylonian names. So we'll read the story as we read it, but, I don't know. Just a little aside. But in any event, it's a pretty straightforward story. Daniel they're introducing how he's brought into such close contact with Nebuchadnezzar, and so are the other guys. They all have some really close encounters with death, being so closely affiliated with the king. Nebuchadnezzar is not playing around for the most part when we'll see. They get into some hairy business. But Daniel's story is amazing. It's a story of intense faithfulness with seemingly no payoff. Daniel is most likely castrated in the king's service. So he's probably, it doesn't say specifically that he's a eunuch, but a lot of times they were, and there's no record that I know of that he had any prodigy. So it's likely that these all four of these homies were. So that's terrible. And then also, Daniel, when we read about him getting tossed into the lion's den, he's praying. There's a prophet that comes before Daniel, and he is telling them to pray toward Jerusalem every day, so that they would be taken out of bondage, out of slavery, out of occupation or whatever. And so he does that, and he prays constantly his whole life to see Israel freed again. That's like his one theme, his prayer, his constant everyday praying that Israel be free and back in Jerusalem to worship God. And he never sees that day. So he spends his whole life very faithful in the service to God, but his lot in life is to serve pagan kings, and walk that line of still worshiping God and serving him, but also having to serve pagan kings and never see Israel free. So it is a beautifully tragic story, but we'll get into more of it. Thank you. I will see you in the next one. Read your Bible.